guys, here am I on my Ubuntu VM on VMware, and let's say that I want to use a tool like BTOP. I don't have it, but it can be installed with APT install BTOP. So today I'm going to show you how you can create your own Debian packages and how you can create your own Debian repository so that you can distribute your packages and your colleagues, your friends, whoever you want is going to run apt install your package, and it's going to install the package that you uploaded. I created a VM on GCP where I'm going to host JFrog Artifactory. That's my VM over here. So how did I install Artifactory? I wanted to install it on a JKE cluster and simply run helm install Artifactory, but I was having problems with GCP providing me the resources that I needed. So I did it on a VM, and I used this simple script. First, I set all of the variables that I need. I'm going to be using Artifactory version 7.125.9. Then I upgrade and update my machine and install a few tools that I'm going to need. As you can see, I'm going to be installing Postgres on the same machine. So one thing that I'm going to need is that I'm going to have to create my DB and user. After creating my user and my database, I'm going to find out what my IP is, and then I'm going to change the pghva.conf to allow connections from my IP. Then I'm going to configure postgresql.conf, and then I'm going to restart PostgreSQL. Then I'm going to start setting up JFrog itself. I'm going to create my necessary JFrog Artifactory directory. I'm going to download Artifactory in it, and I'm going to extract. Then I'm going to configure my Artifactory system.yaml. I'm going to add the database that is going to be our local PostgreSQL, and I'm going to be using the username and password that we set up. Then I'm going to configure binary store to store the binaries on the same machine. Then I'm going to cd into Artifactory app-bin, and I'm going to run the install service.sh and systemctl start Artifactory. Then I'm going to install nginx, and I'm going to configure it to proxy connections coming on port 80 and redirect them to port 8082, where Artifactory is going to be running. After that, I'm going to restart and enable nginx, and if all of that works, I'm going to be able to access Artifactory from my IP on port 80, and it works, as you can see. I'm going to log in with the default credentials, admin and password. I'm going to be prompted to add a new password. Now I'm going to upload my license. You can get a free license on their website. I don't want a base URL, so I'm going to skip it. Skip, finish. So that's going to be our binary manager. That's where our packages are going to live. I'm going to go to the top right. I'm going to click on my username and quick repository creation. I'm going to call it Lucas package, and it's going to be a Debian package repository. Create. Now I'm going to create my package. I'm going to go to my GCP VM. I'm going to create a simple bash script that's going to be my package. It's simply going to print the simplest message you can imagine. Now I'm going to attribute execution permissions, and I'm going to create the Debian package structure. That's my structure. You can add your real email if you want. Now I'm going to build the .deb, and I'm going to rename it. All done. Now I'm going to go back to Artifactory. I'm going to go to Platform, go to Lucas package-Debian, and I'm going to click on Set Me Up. I'm going to enter my password and click on Generate Token and create instructions. Deploy, and that's how I can upload my Debian package. So I'm going to copy this command, go back to my machine, and run it. It worked. That's its checksum. That's the URI. Now back to Artifactory. You can see that my package is here. Lucas package, all done. Now, how can I install this package and use it on any Debian machine that I want? So, as you remember, this Artifactory is running on my GCP VM, and I have this on-prem Ubuntu VM. They are not related at all. I want to download this package on my VMware VM. I'm going to add my Artifactory as an APT repo. My Debian repository is trusted. Sudo apt install Lucas package. Run it just like any other package. So that's it. That's how you can create and distribute your own Debian packages. They're going to be hosted on your own Debian repository.